Pistol shot number 12, we are doing a drill called the bottom up bounce. So we're focusing on the bottom position ascent versus the descent from the top down position we've worked so far. This is also a bona fide exercise on its own. We don't need anything except for a cushion surface, so your mat or carpeting will be fine. And this is actually even a portion of one of my favorite exercises, which is the rollback pistol. I want to show you the rollback pistol, but I haven't done any sort of warm-up or mobility or anything right now, so I probably shouldn't. So I'll show you the drill first, the bottom up bounce, and then we'll talk through the components and the bonus that you need here. So we start from the bottom. This is the starting position, okay? So we're gonna roll back. That's it, okay? I'll show you one more rep. Okay, so what we're doing here is we're riding the momentum of the roll back up in order to start that ascend by pressing that foot that's flat on the ground, pressing the heel of that foot into the ground as we start to lift the body up. But we're not coming all the way up. We're just staying low. We're just getting a little bit of a lift, that bounce, okay? And that would be the end of one rep, and you would just continue on that rep. Or you can alternate. We'll talk through the variations. All right, so the most important thing is to remember not to have any sort of thudding or skidding or thumping in the areas that are that's rolling, meaning from your sacrum all the way up to probably, definitely not to neck height, to your upper shoulder area, okay, so top of your thoracic spine area. You want to hit vertebrae by vertebrae, okay, and not skip any areas of that spine. Otherwise, you'll get a little bit of that bouncing or thudding or even skidding, okay? We don't want that. So in order to prevent that from happening, you're going to engage your core a lot, like pressing into the floor and keep the chin tucked. And that will protect you as well. So you're getting this bonus core work. The pistol squat in general is actually a really great, it's one of my favorite ways to work the core, okay? But in this case, you actually get that additional bonus because you need to engage really hard in order to protect that spine. All right, so no skidding and no thudding in between here. All right, so the options is to keep going on that same foot. So bounce up and then just repeat, bounce up and repeat, right? Which is what I did in showing you. The other way you could do it is to alternate it, all right? So you can come, have your normal starting position, okay? Roll back, bounce, switch the legs, bounce, switch the leg, bounce. All right, so you saw, I got a tad confused. You saw my first rep where I ended up tapping down, partly because my left side is weaker and partly because I kind of forgot what I was doing. So that's okay. If you need to have a little bit of that assist, that's fine, because if you still want to try this, okay? The order that I'm giving you these posts is not necessarily hierarchical. I believe I mentioned this in the beginning, okay? So between the strength and the mobility and the flexibility and the drills, the drill exercises, it is all helpful regardless of what order you do it in for the most part. That also means that if there's a variation or a drill that is difficult for you or it doesn't feel good for you, that's totally fine, okay? skipping this, for example, and going on to another drill doesn't mean that you're skipping over a progression, okay? Because it really depends on what area of the mobility, the hip mobility, thoracic spine mobility, ankle mobility, or strength in the glutes, strength in the quads, flexibility in the hamstrings, or activation issues, anything like that. It depends on where your limitations are or restrictions are right now. Okay, so if you can't do this, don't worry about it. But if you still want to try it, go ahead and use that hand to tap down. The rollback part doesn't require any strength. Okay, so that should not be the limiting factor. Although, if you don't have that core control, that might be an issue for you. If you have a very bad anterior pelvic tilt, that might be an issue for you to keep that every vertebrae to roll onto the ground. Okay, but it should not be a matter of strength. Otherwise, in order to roll and come up, because you're really just riding that momentum. Okay, and the fact of that non-working leg being extended and coming with you and coming back with you, this also provides some momentum. So not only the rocking motion of your spinal movement, but that extended leg acting as that long lever out there is going to help you. Okay, so the rollback part should not be a problem, but go ahead and feel free to experiment with your hand placement, all right, if you need to push into it, especially on the coming up part. Okay, if you need to sort of use your hands, not so much to, you're not going to get any strength help at that point, but just to make contact on the elbows all the way up. Okay, so like this. Okay, if you want to just kind of push off the elbows just slightly, that's fine. All right, eventually, you could get the full unassisted rollback and unassisted bounce. Okay, now if you switch your legs, then you do get a little bit of a break from working consistently all on one side, but it may cause you to kind of lose a little bit of that smoothness on the roll, because that balance, you need to be pretty balanced in the way you can switch the leg. If you do it all on one leg, then you get the additional feedback, right? The continuous feedback. So like after 2 reps, your 3rd, 4th rep will get smoother and smoother. So there's an advantage of that, but you're burning out one leg, which might mean you don't get as many reps in, okay? But as long as you feel that little bit of a bounce, it's probably no more than like 2-3 inches, okay? Okay, and we're just really looking to make sure we're not, skipping, all right? I think I did a little skip there because I was talking and all of that, all right? But this is actually a really fun drill, and if you want to try the full rollback pistol, that would be where we're starting on the stand-up position, going all the way down into the bottom of that pistol, continuing to roll back, and then when you come up, you will come all the way up. Okay. See, I'm weak right now. I'm not even going to do my workout today. Oh, it's been a day, and it's sweaty and it's hot. So anyway, give this one a try. This one is really fun as a drill, and if you want to work up to the full rollback pistol, it's just a really fun exercise. But it will help train that sensation of being able to push up through the heel at the bottom in order to come up to standing when you're ready to do the full pistol.